Yo guys, welcome back to another Hardcore Nuzlocke. This time I'm going to attempt Pokemon Hardgold using only poison types. Let's take a look at the rules. If a Pokemon should be when a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead. You have to nickname all of your Pokemon. You may only catch the first Pokemon you encounter on each route. In my case, the first poison type. Battle mode must be played on set. No items in battle except for held items. No overleveling of the next gym leaders or the last Elite Four members' highest level Pokemon. These are the possible poison encounters in Pokemon Hardgold. And unfortunately, we won't be able to get the best one, so you can only get it after the Elite Four. Sorry buddy, I love you. For those who don't know, my name is Dyz. Our adventure started off as any other adventure. At night. The generous Professor Elm let us pick our starter. I picked Chikorita, since Cyndaquil will give some of our Pokemon a challenge later. I name him Speed Metal, because since he isn't a poison type, I'm gonna get rid of him real quick. Before getting my first Pokeballs, I run into our soon-to-be rival. Speed Metal delivers in his first battle out of 2. I happen to catch our rival's name. Since he is a punk and smart as a rock, I name him Punk Rock. Can't even spell his own name, dumb fool idiot. After getting my first Pokeballs, I get my first encounter. It's a Spinarak. I catch it and name her Metal. She has a bold nature, which means plus defense minus attack. Not what we wanted. We say goodbye to Speed Metal forever. I have 3 more encounters before the first gym. A Bellsprout, also with an awful, bold nature. Come on! I name him Pop and move on to Sprout Tower where I can find Ghastly. I name her Rock and she has a neutral hardy nature. And lastly, I catch Hip-Hop, the Zubat, with a hasty nature, plus speed minus defense. It's time for our first gym battle. Falcon's Fly-type Pokemon is super effective against half of our team. First out is Pidgey. After a bite from Hip-Hop, he flinches, and then he goes down to second bite. Out comes Pidgeotto, and Hip-Hop eats a tackle after missing a Supersonic. But his second lands, and Pidgeotto hits himself. Nope! We hit with a bite, and Pidgeotto flinches. But we eat another tackle, and go down to
uncomfortably
low HP. And after our next bite, Pidgeotto snaps out of confusion and starts to roost up. We go for another Supersonic, but Pidgeotto breaks through and leaves us on 6 HP. And are forced to switch. Pop pops out, since I'm pretty sure he'll go for another tackle, but hits himself instead. The plan is to put him to sleep, and it succeeds. I'm swapping to Metal, but on the next turn, Pidgeotto wakes up and hits us with a super effective gust. We cannot eat another one, so I'm starting to panic. So I make the bad decision to let Pop tank the next gust, and it hits hard. I switch to Ghastly, which I should probably have done earlier, and we manage to put Pidgeotto to sleep, and I can let Hip-Hop come in for free. With 2 bites, Pidgeotto's lifeless body finally hits the floor. After a close fight without any losses, the first gym badge is mine. After defeating Falkner, I receive an Old Rod. I use it and I find a Tentacle, and name her Jazz. She has a bashful nature, which is neutral. I chose to face Punk Rock before Bugsy, because in Onyx Forest, I can find Oddish that is my next encounter. His name is Soul, and he has Assassin nature, plus special defense minus speed. It's time for Bugsy. Before going into this fight, I used my new Rock Smash ability to farm berries. The plan for this gym is to first set up Toxic Spikes twice, to make it cause badly poison when Scyther re-enters after U-turns. Then use Rock's Ghost type to avoid getting hit by quick attacks, and hopefully time our switches into Hip-Hop who can resist Scyther's U-turns. Let's see how it worked. Jazz takes a lot of damage when it sets up the spikes, and when Hip-Hop enters, Scyther uses Focus Energy and then Leers, which is scary, so after a wing attack, I switch back to Rock. And then back to Hip-Hop, who tanks the U-turn like a total boss. Bugsy's next Pokemon is a Metapod. He gets poisoned by the poison spikes. We trade wing attacks and tackles, and Bugsy heals in between, but eventually the poison and the wing attacks takes it out. I go back into Rock, who baits out the U-turn, and then I let Hip-Hop tank it. And in comes Kakuna. And what I didn't realize was that Kakuna's poison resistance would make the poison spikes disappear. So that was a waste. First I let Soul put it to sleep, and then Metal can finish it with a barrage of Nightshades. Now there's only Scyther remaining. Metal hits him with Nightshades, but goes kinda low, so I'm forced to switch. Rock can eat the U-turn, and then finish her off with a Nightshade. And that's Bugsy and the Hive Badge. Didn't go exactly as I planned, but it worked out. Those early gyms are so difficult. It is time to add some new additions to the team. First out is Dance, the male Nidoran. He comes with a careful nature, plus special defense minus special attack, which I guess is okay. Next up is Blues, the female Nidoran. She has a gentle nature, plus special defense minus defense. It doesn't take long until they evolve. Dance evolves into Hard Dance, and Blues evolves into Rhythm. It's time for the famous run killer Whitney. I lead with Jazz against her Clefairy. I start by setting up Toxic Spikes, and you will see why in a second. Clefairy's unpredictable Metronome crits us with an ineffective Twin Needle and does barely nothing. Jazz then confuses her with Supersonic before she steals it with Mimic. After being hit by a Shadow Claw, a few Bubble Beams take it out, and in comes Miltank. It gets poisoned by the Poison Spikes, which triggers her Lumberry, according to plan. but she hits us with Stomp down to 3 HP before our Oran Berry brings us back to 13. I'm forced to switch, and in comes Hard Dance to bait out Attract. Then go into Rock because Miltank stomps and attracts, can't hit her. Then this happens. Miltank has the ability Scrappy, which allows it to hit ghosts with normal type moves, and everything I've ever learned about Pokemon is a lie, dude, yes! Luckily for Rock, she doesn't have to pay for my mistakes when she survives on 7 HP, because she's an absolute goddess. We go back into Hard Dance to bait out Attract again, and then swap to Rhythm. And it works this time. Rhythm goes for a super effective double kick, which does barely nothing to Miltank's HP. On the next stomp, Miltank gets poisoned by our ability Poison Point. After I decided to use Poison Sting to poison it, but I'll take it. Rhythm gets some HP back from her Citrus Berry. Now we just have to survive until the poison kills her. I let her stay in, hoping that Miltank won't crit us, and we live and get a double kick crit instead, which isn't good at all, since now the poison will take it down to healing range for Whitney. But I take the chance to let Hip-Hop in, but he obviously gets attracted to this beauty of a cow. So much to love. But like a true champ, he hits through a thickness of love with a wing attack, and it does close to nothing. She loses some HP to poison, but she hits like a truck. Hip-Hop gets below half, and the Citrus Berry kicks in, but he still isn't convinced of his love for her, but the Supersonic misses anyway. I decide to let Hip-Hop stay in, knowing that a non-crit stomp will leave us on 1 HP. Now he is so overwhelmed with love that he can't hit, which honestly tempts me to let him stay in and die. We're on a mission here, buddy. I let Soul come in and Whitney goes for a heal. I bait out another Attract, but at this point I'll probably have to sack something, since Miltank is so quick and I probably have to switch around to stall out the poison. Pivot back into Rhythm, but Miltank doesn't fall for it again. She sees the kill on Hard Dance, and a Stomp kills Rhythm. Now we're in a real bad spot, because I'm low on pretty much everybody. I put Rock out on the field to bait a Stomp, and I let Soul tank it. She then goes for Attract, and now I really hope that the poison will kill her next time. But she lives on a sliver again. Does Whitney have another potion, or is she gonna go for Milk Drink? No, she stomps. And Soul, please hit through the love from this cheating piece of garbage. He does. I love you more than a Miltank ever will, buddy. That's why I bench you for the rest of the run. Yo, Whitney, rot somewhere deep below the basement and give me the freaking badge. In Burn Tower, I encounter Electronic Coughing. He has a timid nature, which means plus speed minus attack. Fantastic. And Hip-Hop evolves into Rap. Shortly after, it evolves into Mumble. Oh wait, that can't be right. What the fudge is that? Anyway, Pop evolves into Opera. In Ecruteak City Gym, we find Morty. And Mumble's first victim is his Ghastly, who can't take a bite. Neither can his Haunter. Gengar can tank a bite. After his Citrus Berry triggers, he flinches. Gengar goes down to red and pulls out a mean look. And Morty heals him to full. But a few more bites is enough to seal the deal. Mumble wastes no time. Mum sends us a Moonstone, which I immediately use to turn Hard Dance into Dubstep. We get some more evolves before we take on Chuck. Rock into Hard Rock, and then Jazz evolves into Jazz Rock. And in the Safari Zone we catch an Ekans, they're named Altrock, and it evolves into Steampunk. It's time for Mumble to take on Chuck's team of fighting types. Chuck's first Pokemon is Primeape. A wing attack almost takes it out, and he goes for double team. Primeape gets healed, and 2 more wing attacks is enough to take him down. And a crit wing attack kills Poliwrath. Chuck, you suck! After a lot of headbutts, I find my last catchable encounter in Venonat, and I name him Country. He has a neutral nature, which is alright. And before taking on Price, he evolves into Hunky Tunk. I'm up against Price and his Ice-type Pokemon, Lizard Seal, and I go for Steampunk. In a second here the pace is gonna change. For some reason I sped it up during the playthrough, so I have to narrate it accordingly. After setting up Stockpile, Steampunk goes to Crunch. After some resting, Healing Seal goes down to Crunch. Jazz kills Pilot 1 with 2 serves. Aurora Beam, Stockpile, Aurora Beam, Citrus, Stockpile, Aurora Beam, Stockpile, Aurora Beam, Crunch, Aurora Beam, Crunch, Rest, Crunch, Rest, Crunch, Rest, Crunch, Hard Rock, Rest, Shadow Ball, Rest, Shadow Ball, Ice Shard, Full Restore, Shadow Ball, Rest, Shadow Ball, Ice Shard, Citrus Berry, Shadow Ball, Ice Shard, Shadow Ball. Jugong is dead and Price is down. I'm so sorry for that, guys. I have no idea why I sped that up. Right after, we're up against Jasmine. Her first Pokemon is Magnemite, and my first is Dubstep. It digs on the ground, and Magnemite misses Supersonic. 1 dig is enough to take it out. Jasmine Steelix is her best Pokemon. Dubstep does some sad damage with Dig, and an Iron Tail from Steelix takes Dubstep down to half. I bring Jazz out, and 1 serve is enough to one-shot Steelix. Jasmine's last Pokemon is another Magnemite. 1 dig later, and we have the Mineral Badge. The last gym leader is Claire. She's usually tough as nuts. I mean, she's a hard nail to crack, and this is no exception. Before the fight, I bought the TM for Thunder, and I taught it to Hard Rock, and only 1 is required to kill Gyarados. When Dragonair enters, Hard Rock successfully puts it to sleep with Hypnosis, so that I safely can switch into Jazz Rock. I taught her the theme for Blizzard. It's so close to kill Dragonair. Come on, doesn't that count? No. She used a Thunder Wave, but we come prepared with a Cherry Berry. Claire hits Dragonair up with a Hyper Potion, but our second Blizzard high rolls and kills. Ah crap, another one. High roll, please?
Of course!
Claire's last Pokemon is infamous Kingdra, and this is where it gets tricky. Jazzrock's Blizzard does a good amount of damage, and we tank a Dragon Pulse. Our next Blizzard puts it in yellow, and it triggers its Citrus Berry. After next Dragon Pulse, Jazzrock goes down to 48 HP, and since Kingdra doesn't have any ice moves, I switch into Mumble. Mumble tanks Dragon Pulse good, and we fly. We hit, and Kingdra goes down to red, and lowers our accuracy with a Smoke Screen. Claire uses a full restore, and we go for fly again. We hit despite the accuracy drop. Kingra's Hydro Pump almost kills Mumble, and our Citrus Berry activates. And we can't take another one, so I'm forced to switch. Honky Tonk has to eat the next Hydro Pump. It takes us below half, but our Citrus Berry gets us up again. With Sleep Powder, we put Kingdra to sleep. I can safely switch in to Hard Rock. Thunder doesn't quite kill, and Kingdra wakes up. And Hard Rock is so squishy. We get some HP back from the berry, but she's too low to stay in. If I have to sack something, it's gonna be Steampunk. No heal from Claire, and we could survive another Hydro Pump and take it out with Crunch, but we don't. Her sacrifice is not in vain. We get the free switch into Honky Tonk. He is faster and he can take Kingdra out with a Signal Beam. We have our second death on the board. We receive the Rising Badge. Well, after some convincing. There's some obstacles left before I can face the Elite Four. First we have the Kimono Girls. Should be pretty easy. The first evolution is Umbreon. We hit it with a super effective Signal Beam. And the Lumberry saves us from confusion. And the Umbreon goes down to our second Signal Beam. Now we are locked into Honky Tonk as our first Pokemon. We're so close to killing Espeon with a Signal Beam. And then Psychic hits. And we survive on 10 HP! God, that was close! And since I'm a genius, I switch into Mumble here. Ha! Not today, Lord, we live! Espeon doesn't, and next up is Flareon. I switch into Jazzrock, who gets hit by a quick attack on the way in. But with the Surf, we almost kill! What is this sorcery? Luckily for us, the Will-O-Wisp misses, and the next Surf drowns Flareon. The next Kimono Girl has a Jolteon, and I switch into Dubstep. Jolteon double teams and we dig a hole in the ground. And finally we get a one-shot. Lastly we face Vaporeon. I go into Hard Rock, who can't be hit by Vaporeon's quick attack. We hit with Thunder, and then we get hit by Surf. With a Shadow Ball, we claim the victory. Now all that's left before the Elite Four is this punk, and against poison types, we don't stand a chance. Both Sneasel and Kadabra goes down to one single beam each. Because of a burn from Typhlosion's Lava Plume, it takes 3 waterfalls from Jazzrock to take Typhlosion out. Magneton is a one-shot from Dubstep's Dig, and a bite from Mumble is enough to take Haunter out. Well, Golbat put up somewhat of a fight with a Confused Ray. While confused, I hit myself a few times, but with a bite, I eventually get the kill. That's our last rival fight, and before I move on to Elite Four, Electronic evolves into Weezing. So this is the final team. We have Hard Rock, we have Honky Tonk, we have Dubstep, Mumble, Jazzrock, and Electronic. The level cap is 47 to match Karen's Houndoom. The first Elite Four member is Will, who leads with Satu. I lead with Hard Rock, who's wearing Choice Specs to boost special attack. And one Shadow Ball is enough to take Satu out. And a crit Shadow Ball is enough to kill Jinx. And the rest of Will's team also gets one hit KO'd by Shadow Ball. Easy clap, we're off to a good start. Next up is Ninja Master himself. My plan for this fight is to let Dubstep carry with a Muscle Band. Koga's first Pokemon is his Ariados. We hit with an Earthquake. He survives on a Sliver and his Giga Drain does barely nothing to Dubstep. Koga heals with a full restore, but our next Earthquake kills Ariados. Next in line is Venomoth, who can't handle an Earthquake from Dubstep. Before the fight, I taught Dubstep the TMs for Fire Blast and Thunder, and Fortress looks surprised when he gets one shot with a Fire Blast. Crobat comes in and double teams. We use Thunder and we hit for one hit KO. Koga's last Pokemon is Mach. He gets demolished by an Earthquake. Poison is too good in this game. 2 more fights before the champion, and I can smell victory. It's Bruno time! His first Pokemon is Hitmontop, and I lead with Mumble, who is equipped with a Muscle Band. Hitmontop counters with nothing to counter, and we hit with Fly, which is enough to take it out. Onyx is next, and he puts up a Sandstorm. But he can't survive a Surf. Bruno sends out Hitmonchan, which is kinda tricky, because he knows Thunder, Ice, Fire and Bullet Punch, which is a lot of coverage. Luckily for us, Electronic is a complete wall, but getting frozen wasn't part of the plan. A Thunder Punch lands and crits, down to 26 HP, and it activates our Citrus Berry. And because of the freeze, we still can't hit. We get hit with a Fire Punch, but we finally get out of the freeze, and can hit the Sludge Bomb. He gets so low, but so do we. After an Ice Punch, we're left with 17 HP. Bruno will probably heal here, but Hitmonchan knows Bullet Punch, so even though we're faster, he has priority. I can't take the risk, I have to switch. Bruno heals, so I get the free switch into Mumble, and we hit with a super effective Fly before he can hit us with an Ice Punch. And Hitmonchan is down. Next up is Machamp. We have to switch because he has the ability No Guard, which allows him to hit Mumble even if we are flying. I send out Dubstep, and with an Earthquake, we get Machamp low and trigger its Citrus Berry. And this allows us to kill him with the next Earthquake. Bruno's last Pokemon is Hitmonlee. I switch back into Mumble, and with a Fly, Hitmonlee and Bruno is defeated. The last Elite Four member is Karen. She starts with her Umbreon. I start with Mumble, and I thought him U-turn just to make this switch. But I was hoping that the Earthquake would kill. It didn't. Now Karen can heal Umbreon up to full, and double teams are stacking up. We hit the next Earthquake. Umbreon keeps raising its evasiveness. We miss the next one, and this is getting real bad. Umbreon hits us with Payback, but Dubstep manages to hit the next one. And Umbreon is a goner. Against Houndoom, I switch in Jazz Rock, and Houndoom starts Nasty Plot. And Surf takes it down to red, which activates its Citrus Berry. And that is so good, because Karen won't heal, and another Surf takes it down. And Blizzard takes care of Murkrow, and next up is Violet Blue. We hit with Blizzard, and she misses with Stun Spore. And then Jazz Rock can finish it with another Blizzard. The last Pokemon is Gengar. I feel like I have to prove that Hard Rock is better. And Shadow Ball is too much for her Gengar to handle. And that's her victory over Karen. It's time to make the walk. Is it possible to beat Pokemon Hardgold using only Poison-type Pokemon? Gyarados intimidates Hard Rock, but it doesn't matter when you hit a quad-effective Thunder. Aerodactyl enters. I can't let Hard Rock take a super effective Crunch, so I'll switch into Electronic. When he enters, he gets treated with Crunch, and then the Rock Slide takes him down to 26 HP, and the Citrus Berry gives us some HP back. And we flinch. The next Rock Slide takes us down to red, and our Thunder only brings Aerodactyl down to yellow HP. It's Electronic's time to go, and we salute you. Now it's Jazz time. We take a hard Thunderfang, but a Surf ends Aerodactyl. Dragonite comes in, and he knows Thunder. So we're lucky that we're faster, we are lucky that the Blizzard hits, and we are lucky that it one-shots. Next Blizzard isn't as lucky. Jazz, you beautiful trash bag, rest in peace. Dubstep takes a hard hit from Dragonite's Blizzard, but our Blizzard is 4 times effective, and this Dragonite is no more. This is the third Dragonite this fight. This time we're faster. Blizzard takes care of it, and in comes Charizard. We're faster, we hit with Thunder, and it leaves us liver, but fully paralyzed. Lance uses a full restore. We hit our Thunder, we get the full para again, dude! And then with the last Thunder to claim the victory. Seriously, how lucky was that? We hit nearly every single Thunder and Blizzard. Just so lucky. And there we have it. Pokemon Hardgold using only Poison types. So with 4 deaths, I'd say this challenge was pretty easy. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I want to make a big shout out to Antlerboy. You might have heard about him. Thanks for everything, man. If you like the content, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace!